And so I'm like, oh crap. I'm over a waterfall. I don't know how thick the ice is behind me, and I gotta keep pounding in and possibly breaking it, but that's the only way I can get there. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do it. And so I just kept going, and then I get like, gosh, it seemed like this far away, like I could touch the edge, and there's holes now, and I look in the hole, and I look down through the hole, and I can see a gap, like 3 feet between my ice, which is like this thick, and the wall, and a waterfall going down the back side. And I realized if this thing collapsed or crushed, I would fall right in to that waterfall and go down 1,000 feet through this glacier and die at the bottom, in this bottom of this waterfall, and no one would ever be able to find me. It's like I'm underneath a glacier. And it was like, oh my gosh, what the hell am I doing? And so I gingerly dig in and like just barely dig it. So I'm like with my fingertips, like with the thing, so I don't dig too deep to crush it. So then I get all the way to the edge, and it's like a line, and I have both my feet, and I got one feet, and I stretch my leg out to try and put my foot on the rock, but there's a huge gap where the waterfall ended, and it's like a drop off into that hole that I have to step over. And so I have to step across this big, huge 3-foot hole while I'm on the wall over the thing. And oh my gosh. So anyway, I got across, and I got both feet on the ledge, and I was able to push myself over and push myself up to be standing vertical. And I'm looking down the hole, just petrified, like unbelieving of what just almost happened, and looking down the cavity, and it was just, I was just like, what? You freaking idiot. Oh my gosh. And it was like an epiphany moment that I was protected at that point. I was like, there is a divine hand that held me up. So anyway, there we go. I got across it, and I take the rocks and I throw them down because now I can't move them. Open my hands up, and I had ripped my hands wide open from those jagged rocks, pounding them in. They were so frozen I couldn't feel it. My hands were so numb. Ripped them open. I mean, they were just bloody from digging in. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? It was horrible. So then I'm standing there, and I'm like, wow, amazing. And I'm literally 50 feet from that waterfall I was trying to get to. I'm like, okay, I finally made it. But there's this huge, of course you can't see it, there's this gigantic drop off and a gigantic uphill to get to it, so there's no way I can get to it. I'm like, okay, I can't get there. I can't get there, fine. I got to see it, and I'm alive, thank God. So I'm staring, and had I been looking anywhere else, it was just at a perfect moment. And of course my camera wasn't out to actually shoot the video of it happening, but the whole, that ice wall that was the size of like a 3-story house that I was trying to get to, I was like 50 feet away from it on the side of it. So I was up here next to it, and it was right beside me, and downhill's this way, and I want to go, you know, it's all this way because I'd walked around the edge. And so I'm staring at it like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Thank you, God, I'm alive. And I heard a gigantic like cannon crack explosion, or you know, bang, like a cannon shot. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden, like a half second later, I see it start to move. It looks like a 3-story house. Like, go look at and the whole thing, and I just see it start to move so slowly. I'm like, what? And the whole thing just topples over right in front of me and crashes down onto the glacier below. And a huge avalanche happens from all this gigantic 3-story house of ice down the thing, and I watch it go down, and I'm just standing there going, holy crap, that was amazing. And then my next thought was, holy crap, that's the exact path I was walking up to get to it. Had I kept going on that path, or had I just been later, I would have been pulverized into meat sauce from that avalanche of that gigantic ice thing, that ice house. And I just like had this moment of like, wow, am I not being like I had this, like, there is a higher being out there. There is an energy, there is a force, God, however you want to put it, however you want to see it, is we're not alone. I knew it without a shadow of a doubt in that moment. And I'm telling you, it was like, there was nothing to that experience. And I felt, and I was like ticked at myself and for going across the ice waterfall, and like so upset that I almost died and fell down the hole. And at that moment, after I realized and I had that epiphany, I was just full of this joy. Like, I was so happy because I had experienced God. I'd experienced the universe. I'd experienced life holding my hand. And I just started laughing, and I was just so excited for life. Like, I was so energized that I'd get another chance and that I'd been protected. And I was standing up on this, standing up on the edge, and right below me was the cliff wall. And I'd gone up, and it was like straight down. It was like I used to snowboard and ski a lot, so it was like a black diamond. Straight down. It wasn't mogully. It was super smooth. It was like this gigantic chute, like slide, not a slide, but just a slide that was like 1,000 feet long. It was like the side of a mountain, but it was all this glacier ice, so it was ultra smooth. And so I started running down it with my backpack. I had my backpack because I had my whistle and my bear spray with me and my water. I started running down it, and it's so steep. It's like, think about a black diamond ski run. You can't run down it. And so I tripped, stumbly, and so I stopped. I finally stopped, and then I'd gone like 50 feet, and I was like, screw this. And I took a leap in the air and threw my feet up in the air and landed right on my ass. Bam! And I hit the ice, but it was crumbly, remember? It hit the ice and just shot down the mountain like I was skiing or on a snowboard, and just whoo! And I was laughing, oh my gosh, the whole way down. It took like over 5 minutes of being on my butt going straight down the mountain with keeping my feet up so I didn't grab my legs and flip and tumble and hurt myself. All the way down, I'm laughing hysterically and just like so full of joy all the way to the bottom. And I see the whole avalanche was kind of where it ended. It was where I kind of ended. And it took me over 2.5 hours to get up, and it took me half an hour to get down. And so I got back, and I was just like, so, and from that day, from that cracking and watching and seeing that epiphany that we are not alone in this universe. There is a divine hand out there, however you want to call it. I'm not an expert. I'm not saying that there is only one way. I'm saying I experienced something beyond me. And from that day, I have really cherished life and I started caring about if I died. I started caring about what happens to me, because life is so precious and I want to just soak all of it up. And so my boss was like, I came back and he was so mad. He's like, I thought you were dead. I saw the thing come. You took so long, and then I saw the avalanche, and that's where you were supposed to be, but I couldn't see you. And I was just like, what am I supposed to do if he's dead in an avalanche? So then I told him the whole story, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm not leaving you alone anymore. And I was like, please don't. I don't ever want to do that again. So there's my waterfall story. And I gotta say, that was about, I don't know, 13 or 14 years ago that happened. And I have viewed life as so much more precious ever since then. And I still want to live it, but it's just, I know every moment I get to be alive, it is a precious gift that I'm never getting back. That moment, I'm not getting it back. So I encourage you to take all your precious moments and live them to their fullest. So let's all go do it. Let's all go make some memories and live our lives. Bye, everybody.